Get ready. It's time. Christina, Lisa, Amy, and Lauren. Welcome to the Cimorelli podcast.
Hey, I'm Christina.
I'm Lisa.
I'm Amy.
I'm Lauren.
And we're Cimorelli.
Hello.
Welcome back to
The Cimorelli podcast.
Yes! I've been waiting for this
What
one.
season
Turn
is
it
this?
up.
season 6.
Six? No way.
Look, we also have to address we're missing a member.
We are.
Catherine had some babies.
She did.
2 babies.
Multiple.
She will be
So-
back, but definitely not right now.
She
Guys,
is-
she got her hands very full.
She's on a healing journey.
She
Literally
is on a healing journey.
Yeah.
But
She
guys,
is.
welcome back. And can you believe we're finally back after 100 years?
Woo!
We've been wanting to come back, but we had a whole... Okay, here was the real situation, I would say. Besides pregnito, babies, blah, 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 all that,
look at us for
we
that one.
got a new whole studio. We got a new studio. And then Tweedledee and Tweedledum, really Tweedledee, had to set it up.
Called you Tweedledum.
Not D-U-M-B.
Had to
Just
literally
D-U-M.
be the manpower behind this studio.
Exactly. Tweedledee, Tweedledum, and a third, Tweedle
Dipstick.
Look, I painstakingly hung all of these, and then Tweedle Dipstick made them better. But I did it. I put on TV, and I just...
Good for you.
We love to hear it. So anyway, we had a lot of things we were planning. We were like, what on earth should the podcast studio be? What are we going to do? When we're going to do it? Blah, 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 blah. All these blah, blah, blahs, okay? But anyway,
All the blah, blah, blahs.
we came back, guys. We love doing the podcast. And now we actually have a studio that's just, you guys don't know, before our podcast studio was just like random areas.
It was in
This is its own room. This is its
Yeah.
own podcast studio that stays set up forever. It would
Yeah,
be
like it
an
was
area,
in my house.
and we would like switch it around and be like, oh, now we
was
can bring
in
the
our
lights.
our bonus room.
Yeah.
But now we have this like real setup, so you guys can feel more
settled.
I feel
more securely
so
attached.
securely attached to this because I don't have to flip my living room around every time,
And you viewers can feel more secure knowing that we have an actual studio now. So
which
Yeah.
makes it so much easier to film.
congrats to us. So let's jump in. So we're starting this new season with a
new
new
chapter.
thing, which is what did you eat for breakfast?
Yeehaw, ladies!
And this was Amy's idea.
But I championed
Thank you.
it.
She
And
said
Lisa
it was
forced
championed
us. Lisa's very forceful. You guys should know.
No, I
Yeah,
am.
she
has
is.
a powerful
one time,
force.
one time we were splitting up. Oh, acid rain. We're splitting up acid rain. And she's like, Lauren, please, can I please sing the last chorus? She started crying over it. So.
And
That
guess
is
what?
not
She
me
got
being
it.
forceful.
It's
That's her being
persuasive.
dramatic.
Lisa, you
No,
gotta
no.
own it. It's
Look,
a great
I
quality.
give a good pitch. All right.
She does.
Because I don't sell anything I don't believe in.
But more
You're
than that,
so right.
more than her good pitch, she has a forceful energy.
Yeah.
She's
Because
like,
I'm selling. All right. Anyway. So breakfast. Shall I
This is
start?
why we need forceful people, because when Lisa was gone, I just gotta say, she's gone. We were on our last 2 brain cells
Oh my
because we were
If
doing
that, maybe
we were
one
doing
and a half.
so much stuff, and we're like, we didn't realize until she came back, we need another forceful personality. I'm dead serious.
We really needed her,
it
guys.
helps because
We needed someone
they
with
can go like,
opinions.
do this, and we're
Wow.
like,
Strong
okay,
opinion.
yes.
Who's more opinionated than me? No, I don't want to take on that role. Okay,
You
so
are really opinionated. Okay, so
here's
what'd you eat for
my
breakfast this morning?
breakfast. My lovely husband cooked me a protein waffle.
Oh,
what
so
does that mean? Because
nice.
it sounds like
Oh, I
it's
make-
made out of eggs
I
or
make those a
something.
lot.
Well, we were at Whole Foods. First of all, I was like, I really want waffles. Just like on a whim, I wasn't that serious. And he was like, ping, I ordered you a waffle iron. And I was like, whoa. And then
What
we
a
were
life.
Okay, he is literally me because I always
tooth
stalk
fairy.
everyone who I care about. I'm like, oh, let me get them this thing.
Yes.
I have a list of Christmas presents like way
Oh,
early.
I have
I'm like, oh, they mentioned this
Mine's
one thing. I just
ongoing.
know. And then
Oh
with
my
Nick,
God,
I
I
do the
just-
same thing. I'm like, oh, Nick mentioned this. Let me do it right now.
Well, there you go. So
Anyway.
he ordered me a waffle iron, and then we were at Whole Foods. He's like, we got to get you your waffle mix. And I was like, oh my gosh. Because he also has to eat low sodium for his heart, so we had to find something
And
that
like
works for
Whole
both of
Foods, so
us.
he's like investing.
Oh, yeah. So we found one, and I was like, ooh, people are always so like cool and healthy when they make like protein pancakes instead of just regular old flapjacks.
That's what I do.
So
Thanks for calling me cool.
Okay.
It's the first.
I wasn't talking about you. No. So basically, he made me one. It was amazing with a little real maple syrup. I also had a Greek yogurt, just to fill
Add the
myself
zhuzh,
up more.
More protein.
It was
That
delicioso.
sounds like a really nice meal.
High protein.
It was. Yeah, it was a lot
Some
of
great carbs, I'm guessing. Whatever.
It
Okay,
was
so
great.
Fat from the yogurt. perfect
And the
balanced
protein
meal.
waffle.
Wow.
I'll go to mine. So
Love that.
my breakfast today was a classic, which is avocado toast with egg and tahini, which
the
Barrett also loves,
Sounds like a vacation.
which
in
he
Bora
also
Bora.
ate.
Oh,
Which is,
what?
I feel like surprising for a 1-year-old.
Do you
And
you fully cook the egg?
Obviously.
I know you all hate
Don't
runny eggs.
even
So do I.
say that.
Oh.
What world do you think
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought
living
you were gonna
in?
say you all as if you weren't.
No,
a part
I
of
don't know why I
it.
didn't just say we all, but
that is the one thing that we all 100%
We all agree on that.
I don't.
together.
Yeah,
We all staunchly agree on.
Yeah.
it.
I've tried it. Like it was in my
Oh,
ramen,
no.
and I was like,
It's
"Ugh."
just not good.
Well, I needed to know because
It's
like
like slime.
Chad
I
loves
can't
it.
know.
I can't hear it.
No.
I will literally, okay, wait. I gotta get out
Mike,
this
I'm
because I will
trying to-
vom.
Guys, I'm trying to say
Just
my
close
thought.
your ears.
It was in my ramen. I tasted it. That's it. And
I'm
then
scared
there
to
was another thing where Chad's like, "Oh, try a bite." I think he had avocado toast, the runny egg on it. Like, try it, and I just didn't
Everyone
like
loves
it.
that.
It's a weird taste. I don't get it.
I'm too scared.
not good.
I'm too terrified. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
What
so
about you?
unfortunately, I was in a rush this morning.
Don't
So
say
didn't
you didn't
really-
eat breakfast.
No, I kind of did. But I had a half bagel with some blackberry jam and a cup of coffee and 2 mini powdered donuts.
Oh, that is not breakfast.
I didn't get to make an egg or anything. I was like,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Wow, did that not give you a stomach ache?
what?
That breakfast.
Why?
I don't know, like donuts first thing in the
The
morning. I'm
sugar?
like,
Well, it's just
ah.
those mini powdered ones.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
sounds
it's not
like
that much. It's not like a huge one.
No, it was good. I liked
sounds like
it.
it would hurt, but that's good.
Sugar makes me feel like I died. I just realized this. When I eat a certain amount.
Yeah,
I realized this from.
I agree.
I realized it from Halloween.
Okay. Yeah, it's
I ate a bunch
horrible.
of candy and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die.
I didn't even eat
Oh
that
my
much. I
God.
had like
feel like that.
15 pieces, which is not that much.
I went too far.
See, I don't really eat 15 pieces. So.
To me, I'm like, I didn't have that much. I had like 15.
I probably did.
Because like, Lauren
I
eats one tiny bite every like year.
It's like candy corn when you keep eating it and then suddenly you're like, oh my gosh, I'm sick.
You cross
That doesn't
the line that you
happen to
didn't
me.
know you
I think
crossed.
maybe I just eat slow enough that
Yes.
it doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Okay,
for
what'd
you.
you eat?
Okay, so y'all know if you've watched my White in a Day that I eat the same thing every single day, basically. But most of all, I eat the same exact breakfast every day. And like other meals, I will switch out a little. Like I'll switch them out, but like breakfast, same exact thing every single day. I have 2 eggs and toast with avocado and goat cheese and arugula and salt and pepper. And sometimes I steal Tweedle dipsticks tahini.
Nobody knows who that is.
What is tahini?
It's like a seasoning.
It's actually
Chili
good.
and lime.
Oh.
It's like kind of
Good.
smoky. It's really good.
It's
I don't
very
know.
good.
I'm not an adventurous
I'm
eater.
obsessed with
I mean,
it.
this
Yeah,
is
you
a-
wouldn't like it.
No, this is a weird
I
way
don't
that
think
I
you would
relate
either.
to, though. Eating the same thing
Yeah.
all the time. Like, you don't have to think when
It
you go to the
just
grocery
feels
store.
good.
Like, I know what I'm going to
That's
get.
horrible.
Yeah.
I would die.
I get a new meal every week.
You
are
I know. I
insane.
would literally die. Okay, so
Hey, but you can acknowledge that it's great. You don't have to think about it.
that is
Save
true.
time.
But the same thing happens when you just plan your meals for the week. You don't have to think about it.
You have to think about
You
it
have
when
to
you're
think about it
planning
when
them.
you're planning.
Yeah.
It's
oh, you're saying you
fun.
never have to
You
plan.
never have to.
You have to
Oh.
go
I
and
like
search
planning.
for a recipe.
I
I'd
know.
rather not.
I know what my snack
Okay,
is.
I like doing that. It's adventures. Okay, so I realized I didn't even tell you guys, but you can read, so you know. But I didn't tell you the main points of this episode is we're gonna dig deep and get real. Lauren's phrase, get real about what it's really like to be a Cimorelli sister. We're gonna share a lot about our sisterhood, the truth about our sisterhood. So that's what we're going to be sharing today. So we're going to jump into our next thing, which we're going to do every time, which is called 4 Perspectives. And Les Cass here, 5 Perspectives. And we're all going to share our perspective on the same thing. And today's thing we're going to share on, going with our theme, is each of our perspectives on what the question. What is your role in the sisterhood?
Oh, when you were explaining this earlier, I didn't realize.
I can
that's
go
what's
first if you
happening.
guys are confused.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
let's
go
give us
first.
the
Because mine's the
Yeah.
easiest. The eldest sister. Oh my gosh, I found a book yesterday. I didn't even look at what it was, but it was pretty obvious. But it was something about like the eldest or oldest, I can't remember the word, sister effect or something. It was something about being the oldest sister. Obviously, I have to buy it now. But, well, I'm going to look and see if it actually looks good. But anyway, thought it was interesting. So, role in the sisterhood. Mine is the easiest because I'm the oldest sister. Duh. The leader, the bossy one, whatever. Bossy's outlawed in 2021 for women, I think. But I agree with that. Leader. Let's use that one, whatever. But
But
bossy
you know
explains
what?
me too.
I don't think so, because to me, this isn't all like people thing. Some people are bossy. Why can you not say they're bossy? And some people are leaders. Not all
I guess
leaders
they
are
say
bossy.
it's like a.
True.
And then you're also making leader an insult. She's a leader.
You know what? Okay,
I'm
that's
really
a good,
bossy sometimes. And
That's
other
a
times,
good distinction.
Other times I lead with dignity, and other times I'm like, do this, lead in
That's
here.
a good distinction. I would say
Yeah,
I am
you-
definitely both.
Yeah.
So my
Why
role in
can't
the
you just
sisterhood,
be real?
the oldest sister, the leader, the one who had to do everything, not literally everything, but mostly everything first. Sometimes you randomly don't just think first, and that feels even weirder. When your sister has to do something before you, you're like, wait, what? Then it's like weird. But it's like,
no, something's wrong.
yeah, it feels weird, but it's like getting braces first, going through puberty first, dating someone first, having
That sounds
your first
weird.
breakup.
You mean
blah, blah,
being
blah.
the first person to date? We don't date the same people. Dating someone first.
Absolutely not. That's a giant
Absolutely not.
rule of the sisterhood that you do
No,
not.
it's not.
Cardinal rule
Yeah,
that you
it's
don't
really
break.
not.
That's not a cardinal rule. Maybe for you. Not that I
did
would
you
date someone
date?
you dated. You're 70
Who
years old.
did
But like me
you
and
and
Danny,
Danny.
we talk to a lot of the same
Also,
guys.
You
not like
have a real
Okay,
problem.
wait, not like a full,
We would
like,
never.
deep relationship.
No, but it was a rule.
It was horrible.
It was a rule, though.
I always had a crush on someone, and Christina always was the outgoing one that would talk to them. And I
but
was like,
you didn't date them,
wow.
and then I dated them.
Yeah, but it's the
if
same
you
thing.
dated someone, that would never be
But,
able to happen.
okay.
Okay, all
It
right.
was,
But you wouldn't watch. All right.
oh yeah, and
One
me and
time
Amy
Lauren
too.
went on a date with a guy that I ended up hanging out with all
Okay,
summer.
wait, we could clarify that. If one of us was like, yeah, that guy was really not for me, but I don't mind if you date him, I'm not even attracted to him, that's different than like, I dated this guy, he meant something to me, you better not date
If he
him.
was your boyfriend,
well,
no
yeah,
one's gonna.
yeah,
date
it wasn't
him.
like
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
but
yeah.
but like
Yeah, no one's
Wait,
gonna date
guys,
someone else's
there was
boyfriend.
What
Yeah.
are we talking
Okay, let's go back. Let me
our
finish.
roles in the
Let me
sisterhood.
finish my role. Okay, so my finishing of my role.
Amy, I want you to turn the volume down on these growls a little bit. It's hard,
Going
it's hard
through
to hear.
everything first, blah, blah, blah. Now, I also think I have a role of fun facilitator.
I think you're gonna try to define your entire personality like you always do.
No, I only think I have a
I'm
couple.
this,
No,
and
this,
this,
and
and
this,
this,
and
and
this.
this.
Listen, leader. I think there's only a couple.
All right.
Fun facilitator.
So what are your top 5?
That might just be it, right?
Okay.
Would you say? Like a key role I have.
I don't know
all
that you
multifaceted.
facilitate fun that much lately, but
Yeah,
maybe
no.
I did on
before.
Halloween.
In our
You
Yes.
enjoy doing it once a year. Just kidding.
Maybe in the past more.
You
when
have
you were
those
young.
traits.
When we were kids.
You definitely have those traits.
Yeah.
I
Definitely
can't think of
remember.
another defining one.
Well, yeah.
I think that's pretty defining. You're the oldest.
But I think
You're
that's
the
pretty much
leader.
it. It's like,
You're
let's
the-
go do this
Whip us
thing,
into
and then we
shape.
do it.
And you do, and you're the guinea pig. That's your other role.
It's
how you do everything first.
I hate being the guinea pig, but it's
The
a
leader and the
cross
guinea
I
pig.
must bear.
Yeah.
That's
I
something people
could
don't talk
never.
about with oldest children.
Okay.
It sucks. So I think that's kind of it.
I think I thought of mine, but I don't know if this is real. The metaphor that I thought of to name it was the snake in the grass. Because
Does that mean
I
you're
feel
a
like-
lying cheat?
No, I feel like I'm in the grass, kind of like looking around because all these millions of people older than me trying to take everything that I need.
That is
So
not
I'm
what
like,
snake in the grass
I'm a
means.
snake in the grass.
No, she
I'm
is
looking
sneaky.
like, oh,
Why can't
I'm
you-
trying to think ahead, and I'm like, oh, I gotta get in the car first, so I don't have to sit in the back. Oh, I gotta do this. Oh, I gotta do that.
Why don't you
I'm
just be like a bug
sneaking-
in the grass?
I'm snaking
I
around
think
in the grass.
Snake works.
trying to-
But snakes aren't seen as helpless
Okay,
usually.
whatever.
Lauren
No,
is okay.
no,
She can
it's
step
not
on. Listen,
Helpless. Lisa,
Lauren-
I'm striking to get the things that I need.
She's saying she's sneaky.
Lauren's role is A Bug's Life, where she's like, oh, the crumbs, and she steals them and like builds a
no.
house out of a juice box.
No, but I'm more of a snake though because I get the things that I need, but I have to slither around in the grass and strike when I can.
All
I think that's
Wow.
true.
That's how I feel.
That's pretty true.
Okay, but I also feel like you have the role of like trendsetter, where it's like, oh my gosh,
Trendsetter.
Lauren
Oh,
shops
Lauren's
at
the
Paxton.
style.
do.
I
Lauren's-
gotta shop
Wait, Lauren,
there.
in the sisterhood, you're the
Fashion trendsetter.
yes.
When does anyone follow my trends?
I do.
Okay, I don't
Like,
follow them, but I think
no.
about them.
Because I listen to anything Lisa tells me to do about makeup. I will say that.
Oh yeah, Lisa's the makeup.
That's my
trend
blind
center.
follower.
Literally, you told me to do the highlight up. What do I have
She-
on right now?
Wow, I'm honored.
So I don't
That's
know.
true though. you'll be like, oh no, like if
Are we
like,
shifting to me now?
Yeah.
Well, if Lauren was like,
Hopefully.
oh, you should try this thing that has to do with style, they're probably gonna try it.
That's true.
If I'm telling everyone to try a style thing, I don't know. Well, I wouldn't do that, but I don't know if that would really happen. I'm like, you should try a switch.
And if you compliment my outfit, it means a lot because you're the style maven.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay, I'll take it.
also
Making
wait.
the grass trendsetter.
Also, other thing of Lauren, I think that is is this defining? Is something about the blunt one?
The truth
Am I not the
teller?
blunt? I think I'm not the blunt
You are
one.
not as blunt as me.
You are not at all.
I don't think I'm the blunt one.
But also,
Lauren,
Lisa's really blonde too.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
There's a lot that
Lauren
I hold
will just say Lauren is really blunt.
She tells
I
it
think
like
she
it
is. I think that's a defining
Yeah.
thing of our sisterhood. Lauren will just say the really blunt thing.
That's
Yeah,
true.
That's true.
All right,
in a way that's not rude.
Thanks.
I don't know, guys. I don't know what my
Something
rule
about
is.
emotions.
Definitely partially the class clown. I will say that.
Definitely the class clown, because there were a lot less jokes when you and Kath were gone. It was
Oh
like
my
no
gosh,
jokes
we were
almost.
so boring. We were like, okay,
We
what
were
is
like,
next? Okay, let's
bunch of robots.
Wow.
You're definitely a class clown.
You bring the
class-
energy.
You and Kath like share class clown roles. What we learned. We learned a lot from you guys stepping out for maternity leave. You and her share class clown role. Definitely something about emotions and like psychological thing. Lisa has a really big role there about like talking about deep stuff. I don't know what we would classify
I'm
that
like,
as.
I don't feel like I do that often.
Yes,
Do
I
I?
think you.
You
do.
have facilitated a lot of emotional breakthroughs though. With
You just-
things that you say.
You just make a lot of comments about like the deeper meaning of things emotionally. A lot.
Okay.
You add like the depth bringer. She adds a depth to a lot
you
of
do.
things.
All right.
And what else about?
Wait, I think she's supposed to say her.
So she doesn't know.
The only thing I
Oh.
think of was that I feel like the lone wolf sometimes because I feel like I'm off on my own a lot. And
Because you
back.
walk 10 feet ahead of us in the crowd.
I mean, that too.
Yeah.
Lisa's the one who tries to be the lone wolf.
I'm a
like,
little bit of a floater. Yeah.
like you may be a lone wolf, but you're also part of the system.
No, it doesn't mean I'm detached. I break away.
You're
and I
very
come back.
independent.
I have to do this a lot.
That's
Yeah,
true.
that's true.
She enjoys that the most.
I have my
of all
own
of us.
thing.
I feel like Lisa, because you try like differentiate yourself a lot.
And I like to travel with my friends or in another
hate
life.
traveling with
no,
my
and
friends.
I would like go off, like
Yeah,
get
no,
away.
definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like I've physically left home the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea when I left home.
Yeah.
When
don't
did
really
you
do that.
Just like can't
See?
remember any time that I did.
I like to
Christina's
be in my home
hey
a
guys,
lot.
let's go on a trip. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, let's-
going
Oh,
on a
what do you
trip.
know? Fun facilitator.
There
Let's
you
go
go.
on
That-
a trip.
Like once.
Okay, Amy, what about you?
I don't know. I'm a cross between like Dobby and then like
What?
person that makes a lot of jokes and
That's
they're crying.
true.
I don't really know.
Wait, Amy's also the community organizer.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Amy is number one. Okay, it's hard to think about Kath and Amy, like differentiating them because they're similar in this way, but I would say Amy, not emotionally. Amy's the helper. See, Kath's more like, I want to be there for everyone emotionally. If people are emotional or having a hard time, Kath's like, I need to ask them how they're doing. Whereas Amy's like, I need to do something for them physically. I'm saying the two helper types.
Yeah.
Catherine will also be like, hey, how are you, blah, blah. Can I do anything for you? Amy will just be like, won't really say anything, but then you're like, hey, I need help. And he's like, I'll help. Amy's the probably the first one to help, even though I would say Kath is definitely up there, but she has like...
I think Catherine always wants to help, but she overbooks herself.
Yes. So Amy's always helping with a family member, probably multiple times a week. And that's a sisterhood thing as well. She's helping with the sisterhood in some way at all
lot of
times.
stuff.
It's so weird to think of just the sisterhood and then your role, because it's not like your personality, period. It's just in the sisterhood. You're like... Are you you're the middle? Yes. I think
Yeah.
you are like the middle sister.
No, Amy and I are the middle.
Yeah, we're the middle,
We
bros.
split center.
Yeah.
Oh.
How else do you describe? It's so hard to describe. We have the snake in the grass.
So
Like, what is
weird.
Amy? I think
Just don't think of what it's supposed to
You're
mean.
biting our ankles?
Yes, she is biting all
I'm
the
not.
angles.
Okay. Wait, can you think of anything that has to be specific with Amy as her role in the sisterhood? I keep thinking about a personality. I'm like, no, think about in the sisterhood. Amy,
Yeah.
do you have any? You don't have any ways to describe it?
Look, Amy's down. Look, Amy's down for anything, no matter who of us asks.
That's true.
She'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'd love to come over and watch The Bachelor." Like she'll do
That's
it.
true.
She'll give it a try. She'll give it the old
I
college
will.
try.
Okay, that's
am down
interesting
for
because
Amy goes with everyone. That's my perspective. Like,
so what do we call that?
Hang out. Like, I feel like
The
you
one
and
who's
Kath-
down for anything.
No, and also I don't feel like you and Kath, like, you're always like, I'm going to Catherine's house, but you're not going to Lauren's house. But Amy will go to Catherine's house and your house, and obviously she lives with Lauren, and my house or whatever. Like,
I'll go to all the houses.
That's true.
Our parents' house.
Okay,
Amy's
so I
the
would say
connector.
Amy's
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Amy's the
The
one who's
connection.
down for anything and down to help with anything.
Amy's the glue.
Thank you. I really am.
She's
Also,
always like connecting with everyone.
low key. I'm good with facilitating when people don't understand each other.
Okay.
Okay, so
Well,
that makes
cool.
perfect sense. Amy's always connecting with everyone.
There you have
Love
it.
Love it. All right,
Channel
then
5.
this goes really well into
But
our
not with herself.
main topic, which is an offshoot of this, which is we're going to tell you guys about our sisterhood in 4 different times as kids in Malibu. These are very specific
Oh, wow.
Chapters.
like chapters, new chapters in our early Nashville days, and then now with babies. I'm really excited for this because I feel like what we just talked about, I'm like, ooh, okay, we have a lot to talk about. So I can start this one by saying, as kids, Lisa's opening something as usual.
Protein bar.
You tell
Oh
them.
no! Don't chew into the mic.
I won't.
You won't.
As children,
think
let's jump
so.
into this. Okay, as children, our sisterhood was nothing like you see it now.
Personally, I don't feel like we really had much of a sisterhood when I was.
We didn't have a six
We
sisterhood
had a
at all.
trio.
We had
You did.
Catherine
I didn't.
and Lisa and I.
We had a quad, really, because Michael's part of it, too.
In and out. We had sisterhood-wise, we had a trio of Kath, Lisa, and I. And interestingly enough, Lisa was what we described Amy as, not the connector, but the one who was down for anything at any time. She was always like, sure, I'll go. Sure. Like, I knew if I asked Catherine, she might not want to do it, but if I asked Lisa, she'd always be like, yes, whatever you want to do.
Are we talking
let's
like
do it.
5 years old or like teenagers?
I think that whole time was kind of the same idea because we still weren't a sisterhood. I had a...
Well, I wasn't alive when you were 5.
That's true. I had a little like duo.
Yes, you were. We're 5 years apart.
You were just
Okay.
birthed.
Anyway, I had like a duo with Lauren and like a duo with Danny. I didn't really have a
Yeah.
duo with Amy. Amy really entered later.
Yeah.
I didn't have.
And then I didn't have like a group of...
But then you made one
guys
with
either.
everybody.
I took my revenge.
Yeah, I feel like
It was a
you-
weird time.
You had a duo with me because you had the same birthday, and then you had a duo with Danny because you loved doing photo shoots of her and like fun girl
her
stuff.
energy, her fun like energy was like... I don't know. I guess I connected with it, even though she was like 10 years younger than me. I was like, oh, this is so fun.
It was like an ant kind
But
of thing.
yeah,
It
like
was like the fun ant.
you and me and Amy, we didn't really hang out as children
We did those
until a little bit later. I
when we
think.
were like 9 and
yeah,
younger.
but it
And
wasn't
Because
really
there were
like
brothers in
oh,
here too.
Yeah,
well,
That's
it
kinda
was
what
like
happened.
me by myself.
yeah,
And
you always like reading a book or something.
Yeah. Okay. I'm
Well,
serious.
Amy from the beginning was set apart because it was kind of, I think this might be partly why.
I
because
always thought about
you
that.
had your hip thing.
Yeah.
Amy
Yeah.
had hip dysplasia and she
Yeah.
was,
Oh, that's what it's
The
called.
thing that everyone always says, they're going to get hip dysplasia. Amy actually got it.
Guys,
She
why
had
did
to
I get
sit-
everything? That's
she
just
had to
not
sit
fair.
in this like frog suit thing and just sit there on the couch all day and she couldn't like go around. So it kind of like set her apart for a bit, but don't worry, as you see now, she really came back.
As
with a
I,
vengeance.
yeah, because wasn't able to walk till like 18 months, and you realize that's
Wow.
Barrett in like 6 months from now.
Well, he's
And
15 months.
You were
3 months.
already like 3, 4 at that time, and I was just
Oh
starting
my
to walk.
gosh.
Yeah.
So then Alex came on the scene, and I was like, "Ooh,
How far apart do you think we are?
2
You
years.
were 1.5 and I was 4?
We're 2 years. It was like around that 3, 4.
Okay, close enough.
All right,
3.5.
anyway.
And then Alex came on the scene, and I was like, "Oh, cool." We were close. And then Lauren came on the scene, and then Lauren stole
Alex was
him.
like, bye.
Yeah.
Lauren
Sorry.
stole Alex.
Yeah. And then Danny came on the scene. Then Danny, Alex, and Lauren were like, whatever.
trio.
And then I was reading.
Well, you were like, why can't I hang out with the older kids?
Yeah.
But then
Yeah,
you didn't want to hang out
wanna
with the younger kids.
us.
But then I did. We would play like, that was more when we were a little bit older
Like,
though.
I want to be a baby. I want to hang out with the older kids.
Yeah.
But we already had an established trio. And for some reason, it was weird, but it felt like Amy was so much younger, but she actually wasn't.
I'm not
Because
that much
I
younger.
acted
I know.
so much older, and you had such a joyful spirit. I was
Thank
like,
you.
I'm 12, I'm a teenager.
Yeah,
and you
Lisa
were like,
acted really old.
I'm 10, I love butterflies. It was like
Literally.
different energy.
No, I was like, I'm 10.
One of us was a Barbie and one of us was a witch.
True.
That was
I
it.
was like, I'm 10. I will write math tests for Danny and Lauren when we play school.
So it was a weird place for you to be like in the middle there, but luckily
Yeah.
the story
things
changed.
work out.
So things did change when we went to Malibu.
in 2010.
2010. So I was 20. How old?
I was
were-
16,
I
turning
was
17.
Turning 12.
I was 15.
And
Not
guys,
that much younger.
It's okay. We're basically just to talk about our experience, obviously, because Kath and Denny are not here, so it's kind of hard to talk about what they were
Can't speak
experiencing.
for
So
them.
we'll mention them when things involve them, but like it just don't be like, why are you only talking about you for? Because we're
They're
the only
like,
ones here.
were they silent or were they silenced?
Because I don't know Kath's experience. I don't know Danny's, whatever. So anyway, so we went to Malibu and we were a band. And this is where our bond as the six of us really started.
Reached an unhealthy level.
Because
kinda did.
we had no friends. Because there was
So
no
we
one
went
to be friends
there.
with.
We had
This
no
is when we became a
friends.
six-headed
We were
dragon.
Literally, except for Kat. Kat was like, I'm out of here. I
like,
found
I
friends.
need to
No,
find
she
friends.
tried, but she didn't realize she was
couldn't
on the
get
body. It
out.
was a head going.
Yeah.
She
Yeah,
was
true.
too late.
So we were just stuck with like no friends for a while. We had to make friends there, blah blah blah. It was difficult, and we were just like constantly working together and being together all the time.
And sharing only 2 rooms.
And
between
one
the 6 of us.
bathroom.
And one
Oh my
bathroom.
gosh, guys!
So-
And
It,
I
like,
was like
did
in
have a
my
skylight.
20s. It was.
Thinking about that bathroom gives me like a very strong feeling. I don't know what it is, but like
It's weird
love
because
that. Takes me back.
I really miss the Malibu days, but I'm also
Yeah,
like
it was fun.
really happy that I'm not sharing a room with 3 people anymore. But I also am like, I'm really glad we had the experience. I'm glad it didn't last forever.
Guys,
you know?
I kid you not, at 4 a.m, I woke up this morning before I knew what we were going to talk about from a dream that Catherine and I were sharing our closet again. Like, we never shared a closet, though. Amy Elizabeth, shut your alarm off. I woke up and we were sharing a closet. And I was
And
like,
you've
you
never
can have
shared
2 shelves, even though I had like a million. And then she was like, okay. And then I came back later and she put all her stuff in and threw mine on the floor. And I went, Catherine! Like screamo style. And then I was like, I'm moving out. Oh my gosh, I'm married. I can move out. I'm so done with this. This is so stupid. And I literally woke up and was like, oh my gosh, I did move out. Oh,
Wow.
You never shared a closet.
I really believed that I was in that,
That is
old house again.
wild.
It was weird.
So it was an interesting time. It was like kind of a magical time and also a depressing time at the same time.
Yeah.
Because I was having a lot of mental breakdowns, but I was
all
also
were.
like having this magical thing of like the beginning of our career and stuff. It was like really fun. So it was kind of confusing.
Yeah,
What was
I
our
feel like-
sisterhood
Okay, my perspective is that this is all that I did. Okay, so I shared a room with Lisa and Danny. We were so
We were the fun
weird
room.
and fun.
We were
And
not
then
the fun room.
Christina, Kath, and Amy would just talk
Oh
about
my
like
gosh.
scholastic things. I don't
Oprah's
know.
tea time was our room.
Yeah, but we were just like
Oh.
watching Vines and like
Oh, yeah.
laughing all day.
Video of Lauren jumping up, ripping a poster off the wall.
Yeah, we were just going crazy, and basically this is all that we did that I can recall. We did like videos and music stuff, whatever, all the time, and then we went on the computer and
Which
our
we would fight
phones
for.
100 years all day.
We had one computer.
And then we would go to the grocery store,
get food
get
from
food
the hot
from
bar.
the hot bar, and then we would go to the other grocery store
That mac
and
and
read
cheese.
magazines.
And
We
eat
would always
ice
get
cream.
for
their amazing
hours.
mac and cheese and orange chicken.
Yes.
And that, in my mind, that's all that we ever did.
That
And we
is
went on walks.
basically it.
Then went to the beach. Sometimes.
Every day walks. That was great.
That's pretty accurate though.
Oh, I
But
miss-
like I didn't do, and I wasn't like, oh, out and about, oh, hanging out with people. No, I was in my room with you guys, at the grocery store with you guys,
Or
or
at
at
the
the,
beach.
other grocery
and
store
then
with you
once in a literal freaking blue moon, we would go to the movies.
guys. Oh yeah,
like, every
or the mall.
now
We-
and
we
then.
go to the mall.
Or Barnes
Like
and
was
Noble.
occasionally. Not often.
Oh
Because
my
to get to the
gosh.
mall was what, 45
45
minutes?
minutes?
It was
Yeah.
everything was so freaking far.
That
Yeah.
was wild. And it was a weird time because we were together all the time, but then we were not very like open with each other. So we had
Yeah,
so
it's
much
kinda
going
weird.
on, and then we were also being like did you say
Pitted?
pitted against each other on YouTube comments all the time, which was really confusing for us 'cause we're all young women. I mean, I was the oldest at like 20, 21, 22, whatever. But they were all teenagers or like kids, just like really young. It was just so unnatural, so wrong. And to see all these weird comments talking about our appearances and like who is this and who is that. And I think we had so much going on under the surface, but we had no idea how to talk about anything, how to talk about our emotions, how to resolve like conflicts.
But we also had this unhealthy dynamic of like noticing something in someone and trying to like force them to talk about it with everyone, where it'd be like, we're going to get it out in the open. I was like,
It was a very hard time. We didn't know how to deal with anything.
We were a little
I
bit
was
Siamese
so
twins.
green with emotions.
Green with envy.
No, green with emotions and how to talk about them, how to deal with them, what they even are. How do you have a healthy conversation? What do healthy relationships look like? I just had absolutely no
How
idea.
could we have healthy boundaries when our clothing was spilling into each other?
That's true.
That is
like,
so true.
We were kind of forced into this closeness from like moving somewhere new,
From
and not
bunk
really
beds?
having friends. It wasn't
Isolation.
But like all the years before that, like just being siblings and just being humans, like we had a lot of like tiffs with each other and there was like pain points, but we didn't really like mend those and then get close. We were just
Not
kind of
at
like,
all.
now we're close, but it wasn't
Yeah.
really like, there was no transition.
I wasn't even to the point at that point where I could realize, oh, I have a problem with this person or this person, and actually like journal about it or think about it. I didn't even consciously think about it.
Yeah.
Like, I have this problem with this person. I wish we could talk about this. I feel this. Like, I would just feel it kind of like in a distant place and then just like push it down. I was that like emotionally illiterate. I don't know. I just couldn't even. I don't know.
with
if you
all
could
the
relate to that. I feel like
problems-
you would not. You'd be able
No,
to.
I
think.
knew that I was mad at
Yeah,
you
I
all
was
the
so
time.
different. I was like, I don't know what's going on.
And then
It's so
every
bad.
time we went to meetings or anything, it would be like an hour or 2 hour drive, and we'd be in the Suburban all together. So you'd be like mad at each other, and then you have to sit in the car and
An
put your
hour.
headphones
Well,
in.
I don't
and
think we were
get
mad
away.
the whole time.
No,
I
but
mean, at
there,
least
we
I
had a
was
lot
not.
of we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of tiffs. We were there was never a
It was
time
like-
that I knew of that no one had a problem with anyone. There's always something. That's just natural. There's always something. Whether there was a small thing that day or an ongoing thing, there was
Yeah,
always something.
I'm sure there's
Yeah.
always something.
There was always something.
But I don't want to. I
That's
don't
what
want
I'm
them to get the
saying.
idea that it was like, it wasn't like behind the scenes. We were all like hating each other, and then we faked a smile for the camera. It wasn't like that.
No. We genuinely were having fun, and we were also
There's
genuinely
just a lot
fighting.
of ups and downs.
Yes,
There were a lot. There was
'Cause
just so
there's
much
so-
beneath the surface,
and there were so many of us.
it was just
Too,
constant.
like, there's
it
a
was
lot going on.
constant.
It was just so. Yeah, so.
But there was just no personal
confusing.
space, is what I'm saying, because
Yeah.
you'd share a room, you shared a car ride, we shared a bathroom, we
Shared a
career,
career.
shared a computer. There was no.
There was so
when
much.
I wanted to have a private phone
There was
conversation,
nowhere to go.
I would go in our shared minivan at night and shut the door
Share the car.
outside. That's
I
where
would go
get
on
privacy.
a walk.
Yeah, you have to like physically leave.
Yeah, you
And
have to
that
go
was something
outside.
I realized, like, people need privacy.
They need
Like, I realized for the
space.
future, because I never had that. So I realized, in my future, I want to try to make sure my kids have privacy. Because I don't think our parents really realized that because they didn't grow up with that many kids. So I don't think they could never imagine.
Well,
what
they're
it's
just trying to
actually
make
like.
it work.
Like they can't be like, oh yeah, I remember when I was a kid, I felt like that, because they never did
They
have.
never were kids.
So they never had that many
Exactly.
siblings. So that made me realize, like, okay, if I have a lot of kids, which hopefully I will, I want to make sure they actually understand the value of privacy and they get privacy. So anyway, let's see. To wrap up Malibu, how would we sum up and wrap it up and go to the next place? So much beneath the surface. Anything we didn't say already?
We were just a woman.
Probably getting to a breaking point, would you say, in Malibu? But it wasn't there
No,
yet,
we were
was it?
we were boiling up.
And this is a great illustration of what happens when you aren't in touch with your feelings. You don't know how to express them in a healthy way, and you're not able to like facilitate these conversations, and you just don't know how to have healthy relationships. This is what happens. Luckily, there is a happy ending. So, but let's continue, because it could have been really bad. It could have been like we all were like, because a lot of families are like this. We could have been like, well, we're all moving away from each other, and we're not going to see each other except for once a year. A lot of families do that. We could have done that.
sad.
That could have happened, absolutely. So we ended up moving to Nashville.
in 2015.
And Lisa, Amy, Catherine, and I were kicked out of the house, TBH. Our
Yeah.
parents, okay, I was 25 at this point. Our parents were like, listen. And it was nice. It was convenient to live together before because we were all working together. But at this point, they're like, listen, you guys, we're moving to Nashville, and you guys are not moving into our house.
You can afford to live on your own.
And I was like, we can?
Like,
Except for they did not kick me out. I was like, I'm
How old were
leaving.
you? Oh, you.
I was 19.
Good for
and Amy's like,
you.
I'm getting out. Wow. That's
She's like, I want to be one of the big kids.
Yeah, but also I was like, if I don't get out
that's-
now,
you
I'm
never
never
will.
getting
You
out.
finally had your moments.
I did.
Okay, you were not gonna.
She knew she had to be part of the
No,
group.
but Christina, it was gonna be like astronomically
Like,
you
hard
would
hard.
have
for you to
moved
move
out
out?
at like 26.
I would have
Yeah.
moved out a lot later if I didn't.
because Amy still does go to their house like,
All the time.
all the time.
but she has her own space now. Very important. So
Very
we moved in
important.
together, and then the other gals, which was I almost said Catherine, Lauren, Danny, were living with the parents, and
'Cause they were
at this point,
teenagers.
it's hard for me to remember. the
Amy and
first
I were
year.
still sharing a room. I was
I had my own
21
room.
now. And
It
had-
was a lot.
I had never had my own room at 21 years
Okay,
old.
it was a lot nicer though to only share.
Amy's
one
like, don't
No,
hate on this
no,
room.
we were
No,
great.
we had a fun time.
It was not sharing with Amy. I'm just saying I was still sharing a room.
Yeah,
I
Lisa
loved
lives
sharing
for
with
her
Amy.
personal space.
Oh my gosh, yes. We shared a closet too, but it was a little bigger. It was fine. But Amy and I were really good roommates in my opinion because
Yeah, I thought it was
we're
really
both
fun.
like, get out of my business.
Literally.
There was no. So tell me.
Nobody was gonna get in anyone's personal space.
Yes.
Was
No.
it way better than your original sharing in the olden?
Wait, when
olden
we
days?
shared a bed as
I don't
like
even-
toddlers.
I don't even remember that.
Oh, Amy
Like,
remembers.
vaguely.
I recall that.
Vaguely.
And they used to jump off the top bunk onto our mattress.
I just remember
do
my
recall
white
that,
bedding with roses all
They used to
over it.
share a bunk bed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that.
That's
share.
what I'm
Wait,
talking
in the
about.
Plumley house.
No,
No,
yeah,
I'm
we
talking
shared
about
a
sharing a
we
bunk
shared a
bed.
mattress, then we shared a bunk bed, then we shared a room with 2
Okay,
beds.
the bunk bed, yes. Yeah, way better than that. Way better.
That was a
that was
tyrannical.
horrifying. Okay,
Anyway.
we don't need to bring that
We're
up.
Yeah.
in
We're
Nashville.
past that.
And the first year we were just like, we don't know what we're doing. And we did a lot of original songs that year, I remember, which was really fun.
Oh yeah.
But things were really boiling to the surface, boiling over. I don't know how to use
They
this,
were like really heating up at this point.
I don't know how to use these metaphors, whatever.
Yeah, I don't
And
get
at some point, it's so hard for me to remember all the years in Nashville that kind of mixed together. Then I would say an explosion.
I think by the end of 2016, it wasn't
Would you call it
long.
an explosion? What would you say?
What are you
Things
talking
really
about?
came up.
I don't recall.
An
I don't know.
atomic
I'm not thinking of
bomb.
anything specifically. I'm thinking of how we had a big turning point.
Oh.
Wait, what was which?
Like, and then we went to therapy.
That
Oh.
was 2017 beginning.
Okay.
End of 2016, 2017.
Okay, so at some point, things just started to like, you realize things aren't working, blah, blah, blah. All these things happen. And then we were like,
Well, because we
let's
were
go to therapy
having a lot
together.
of problems with like working together,
Yeah.
and like a lot of our time
And
working
working with our
together
mom, too.
was with her too was
It
spent
was,
like
family
kind of
stuff.
like trying to talk through
Personal
issues,
issues.
but
In
then
a
it
really
was, like,
unhealthy
arguments
way.
and like
yeah.
It was,
just like
yeah,
taking up all
we couldn't
constantly.
resolve anything. When we would talk, it would
It's
more
like
just be
it
like,
would just miss.
it would be like
each other.
who is winning the argument
Yes.
basically, and who are people like validating their opinions. When
Yep.
really anyone talking wanted to be like, can anyone hear my opinion and validate me, and then can we actually come to a resolution? That didn't happen.
Yeah,
we
it
didn't.
was just
We had
so
no
much
idea.
misunderstanding
Yeah.
and miscommunication. Like we literally couldn't understand each other.
I didn't even
and
know
we always
why
had these
you-
group conversations when it's like there's only 2 people that would have a problem.
Yeah,
Everyone
because-
else shouldn't have been involved.
Because
We
it was
weren't
in the
able
middle
to
of
have-
like a work thing, but then something comes up. So
Ugh.
then 2 people are having this whole long argument. Everyone else sitting there like.
I literally
We
would
weren't
leave
able to.
and start editing it sometimes. I was like, this is not my fight, and I
We
have a deadline.
never knew at this point. None of us would ever like approach one of us and be like, let's talk. So the
No.
only place we'd bring it up was in the
Well,
group.
we would just
which
wait
is
until
really-
it would come out
Yeah.
uncontrollably.
Yeah, you wait until the person just like kind of explodes, and then you're like, I have this under my skin. And Kath and I had a lot.
All
It's so
the
crazy because
time.
Kath and I was thinking about this week, actually, I was talking about this to a friend, that Kath and I literally never have problems now. We have 0 problems. now.
That's crazy.
We have 0
You
problems.
have so
This is a
many
really, that's an
problems.
inspirational
That's
story.
good actually.
That's
That
like,
is
wow.
true
Okay, that's
inspiration.
inspirational.
Wow.
Kath and I are so close. I think we can talk about almost literally anything.
I was so mad when
We have
she
no
was going
problems.
into labor and was like telling you everything. I was like, why can't she just tell the whole group?
Well,
Why
I
is
was
this
in
private?
I was in a group with Mom and Max.
Oh my, exactly.
We were supposed to relay information.
Yeah.
Or at least it's like, the introverts, they don't want to talk to 100 people. They just want to talk to like 1 or 2 people who tells everyone. We're trying to not overwhelm him. Anyway, so, but that's the inspirational ending of that, but let's go back to it. So Kath and I had a lot of problems. Lisa and I had problems. I don't think I personally had problems with anyone else.
I mean, I had problems with you.
Okay, everyone had a problem with me. But to be fair to everyone, to be fair to myself and everyone, I was the blind leading the blind.
Yeah.
And they were like, why is she being a dictator, basically? And
Like,
I was
what
like,
in the world?
how do I lead people? I had no idea what was going on. And I was like, what is an emotion? All that.
Yeah.
So to be fair, it was
was a mess.
very unhealthy. It was a giant mess, and I didn't know what to do. But I think
At
through it
least
all,
we realized that.
through it all, we all had heart. We all had wholesome something rather in there. Like we all had, I don't know. There was something in there. Like there was love guiding us through this. That's why we ended in a good place. So basically, we decided to go to therapy as a group, and
I
then
went to like family therapy.
and she broke us into like individual and then duo situations, and had each of us do like duo sessions and stuff like that. And that was the first like big turning point where we started to learn.
That's where she was like, you can't discuss everything as a group.
and we were like, what do we do?
Like, you can't?
We're like, how do you do
How?
it then? And then she's like, one-on-one. I'm like, no. And she's like, all right, let's do a session with this person or this person. I'm like, no.
That was scary.
And then in our session, she would validate both.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that was a thing. I thought before.
One person is right, one person is
and
wrong.
it's sad because a lot of marriage, people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s are actually like this, which I'm so glad we learned early on, at least started to learn. I can't say we learned everything. We started to learn this, that when you I thought when I'm like talking to someone or like you have an emotional issue, it's like, oh, one person is right and the other person is just wrong.
Dead wrong.
And if the other person could just see the logic of the person who's right,
Every time one person just needs to back down.
they would just realize, oh, logically that doesn't make sense. That is literally how my brain worked. If Kath could just see that she makes no sense logically, then she would finally wake up and we wouldn't have this problem. That does not make any sense. But that is literally what I thought. So then when I learned in there, because I remember being terrified, like, oh, she's just going to tell me that I'm wrong. Because I have that fear of like, everyone's going to tell me I'm a bad person, being a bad person. So it's like, she's just going to tell me, the therapist's going to tell me I'm wrong about everything. And then I just need to live my life hating everything, basically, is what I thought. But that's not what she did. She's like, I get your perspective. Let's resolve this and let's try to understand each other and let's figure out what's beneath this and what do you need to talk through, what do you need to work through, what do you actually need in your life and what do you need from each other.
You know what else? I feel like she encouraged us to disagree. Like,
Yes.
she's like, you
Like,
don't have to have the
come to an
same
agreement.
opinion.
She
And
helped us.
She helped us get space where it's like,
Yeah.
if
Become
you
individuals.
don't agree on every single thing all the time, but you're together all the time thinking you have to agree on every single thing, then
I
it's just,
think we thought before that to be close meant you have to be like one.
the same.
And if you
Yeah.
disagree, it means you're not close.
Yeah.
But then we learned, I know that might sound kind of crazy to some of you guys, but then we learned, this was, how long ago was this? A couple years?
It was 5
years ago?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
then
so
5 years ago, for the first time ever, we learned disagreeing doesn't mean that you hate the other person or that you're not close
It
or something
just
like
means
that.
you're
You're
a
just
person.
individuals.
yeah.
But we literally didn't know that. I mean, I didn't know that. I can't say everyone did, but I literally didn't know that. I thought, oh, if you disagree, it just means you're just.
I knew that
not
we all
close or
disagreed, but
something.
I was like, I'm not allowed to.
I didn't
It's against the
know.
law.
I was so confused. I was like, oh, the way to be close to someone is to agree on everything.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
Nope.
But I
No, it's
didn't
not
know
gonna
that at the
happen.
time. So we learned all this stuff in our early Nashville days. We went through some trials and tribulations, and I feel like it just snowballed into our own healing journeys in therapy. And
Because we
all just
found
started
our
to heal a lot.
individuality. It was
Yeah.
like,
We
what
all
is my
went on our
role
own
in
journey.
this? With the heads started to grow bodies,
Yeah.
and they started to walk away.
Oh, I like
We were
that.
all empowered.
I feel like what happened really was we learned about ourselves and we got enough space.
Yeah.
We actually have,
we learned
like,
how to
room.
like set boundaries. and
Yeah.
we
have
learned
space.
so
like
many things.
You're
We
like,
learned
"This
about
is
each
me."
other. There were so many things I didn't understand, especially learning each other's attachment styles helped me so much because I was so confused because especially Lauren and Lisa are really different from me in a lot of ways with attachment stuff. And that confused the living daylights out of me. But once I learned that, and they're so similar to my husband, which is so great. So I learned about him and them in one. I'm like, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense. So much sense. So we learned all that stuff. And we're on our journeys now still. But I would say from then to now,
We're on our journeys.
we're still on our
Life
journey.
is a journey.
From then
okay?
to now, we've been in a lot of therapy individually and like just learning and journaling and
Live, laugh, love.
We've
it.
learned
through the journey.
basically we've learned so much, and we've learned about how to have healthy conversations.
Yeah, and just ask
And
for
just
what
healthy
we
things in
need,
general.
especially in a work setting too, of just like, oh, I can't
Do
do
all
this
that
this
yeah.
week, and like, oh, that's okay. We'll just move things around. Like, just say like it sounds so simple, but just saying things like, oh, I can't do this. This is what I need. Oh, like
We couldn't
just
do
saying
that
what
before.
you need. Yeah, we can. Do
And
that.
we've separated like work and personal problems for the most part. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
guys, I'm really overwhelmed. Da da da. And it's just that. There's no because Lauren da 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 under the
Yeah.
surface. It really is just that, or it's like we need to speak.
We're
privately or
really
whatever.
good at that now, where we'll be like,
Yeah.
we're working for this time. On our break,
Oh
we
my
could talk about
gosh.
personal stuff, and then we're working. We're like
Saved
really
us.
good at that now. We have our timer set, and we're like, work.
The
work,
timer
work, work,
really
work.
saved us.
Yeah, it was.
We
just too
live and
much.
die by the timer. And
We'd be
it
sitting
works.
there having like 2-hour conversations about
And we're supposed to be
psychology
working.
and random stuff, which they were great combos.
We love talking to each other
but it
so
was like
much.
we were trapped.
That's the problem.
We like talking a little too much.
Yeah.
And like I like that because I'm like, oh, we're connecting. But then I learned as we're learning this, that's like for other people, it feels like
You're being
they're
held
trapped.
hostage.
And it's not that they don't want to talk about stuff, but they want to know like now we're working, right?
Yeah.
So aren't
Like,
we working when
what
we're working?
time are we here?
Yes.
It would be
And
like
I'd be like,
oh,
no,
3
we're
o'clock,
connecting.
7 o'clock, 6 o'clock.
So when I learned that, it made a lot more sense. It was confusing. And Kath and I are more similar, which is weird because
Catherine's down to clown.
we were butting heads so much. Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
We were really
Not
similar
weird.
in that way, but not in all ways, just in that way. And then they're more similar, and Amy's in their
Our realm.
but she also has a little bit of a different thing as well from what we've learned from our.
she's more similar to us.
I relate.
She's
to
in
a
your
lot.
guys one, but a little.
Amy
bit
likes her
different.
space.
Yeah, she's a subset.
I love my.
She's a
face.
subset of your guys' thing, but you aren't even the same in that either. You have differences.
yeah.
But
We're all
mine
different.
is.
We're all
But Kath's
individuals.
and mine are not the same thing.
We're all individuals. Yeah.
But what I'm saying was that learning that there actually were specific things that applied helped me.
Well, and learning
A
that
lot.
we're all just different.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
but learning how we're different.
Yeah,
like,
learning like. Yeah.
Well, that's that.
that's the
That is
important thing
that.
to learn.
I
So
can't.
now, at the point that we're at with children, how has that changed?
Okay.
Everything.
I will say that I had a mental breakdown when they all started getting pregnito.
Same.
I remember this because before everyone
remember
got
that.
preggo and we were just like in Nashville, it felt like we were kind of, everyone. It felt like we were just kind of
Everyone
like,
got pregnant.
oh, all this kind of like 20-somethings, even though we weren't all in our 20s, but like that was the vibe. We're just
I was
kind of
in my
like young, wild, and free, like living life. I don't know. It was just,
Yeah, like,
we were
yeah.
really in that same stage of life of like 20s.
Which was weird because we had never been
Yeah.
in the same stage of life
Yeah,
before.
no.
It was like, you guys are like really, really little, like babies, whatever, and
Yeah.
we're not.
And I thought that was so fun, and it was just kind of like this like young
was-
life, which like I'm still in that stage right now. And
This
they
young
were all
life.
in it like with me. But then they all started getting preggo and getting married and everything, and then I was like, oh my gosh, everyone's getting old. No offense.
Yeah.
I don't actually think they're old, but like
Not in a bad way.
Their
but
lives
that
are
was
just
like
shifting.
but
Going
that was
into
how
a
it
different
felt, though. Like
stage.
they're going to old person world.
They're
And
leaving us
I
behind.
live in young person world, and like, oh, they're just worrying about like, I don't know, old person stuff. They don't care about like having fun or like having goals and dreams. Their dreams are dying with their old age. Like they're just all they
get
care
what she's
about is their
saying.
babies. And I remember I had this conversation when you told us that you were pregnant.
I remember
was
that. I
crying
was
on
like,
Christina's
Are
couch,
you
and I was
telling me
like,
you don't want me to ever start a family?
no,
I can't handle
No,
that.
I was just like, oh, you guys are getting old. You're leaving me behind. You don't care about me. Like, that was a really hard transition for me
Same.
to kind of like be like, oh, I guess just kind of like me and Amy are in our
Yucking it
own
up.
thing and they're in the old person world. I just felt like, oh, we're just going to grow apart now because you guys are in this one thing and we're in the other one.
Yeah.
But then
remember that.
that's not really what happened. Then I just started learning a bunch of stuff about motherhood and pregnancy. So
Yeah.
now I'm like, oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And I try to keep them youthful, you know.
It's true.
I don't think you have to keep me youthful. I don't know.
I was just like, don't forget about your dreams, you know.
Although, would you say that talking about like dreams, ambitions, goals, that I am a lot more than I was the last couple years?
Yeah.
Because I would say
Well,
I'm
yeah.
on fire with ambition.
This is what I would say. Every one of you, when you were pregnant, I was like, oh my gosh,
Dead
this
things.
dream is dying so fast. Just
That
like your
was
youth
so
is
bad.
fading. But then as soon as you had kids, like you
like,
got over the initial hump, right? Then you were like, all of you kind of had this new boost of like
Not having
I
a
don't know
person
what.
in your stomach anymore.
I don't know, but you had this new boost and like zest for life.
It's
and I was
true.
like, okay, they're still the same.
It's so true.
They just have children now.
I don't feel as ambitious because I feel so ambitious just trying to keep myself and this child alive. It's like,
Yeah.
I will say.
That's
I'm
how I
like,
felt in the first 7,
But I
8
feel
months.
like you have more excitement though.
Yes. No, I
will
have
say.
more zest. I have
Yeah.
way more zest than the last month of my
And you have like a
pregnancy.
different kind of purpose once you have a kid, because then
Ugh.
everything you create, you're like, oh my gosh, my kid is going to be able to can listen to this now, can dance to the song I'm making. It will see this and understand it like in a matter of years. It's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
True. I think I just feel less of a. I think when I was a young buck, I felt more of a thing like I have to prove myself. I have to be so
Yes.
successful. Blah, blah, blah. Now I'm like, look, I want to do stuff. If it goes well, that's great. But if it doesn't, I am a mother, so I already have a large. Yeah, I already have
It's like
a
skipping a
purpose.
Yeah.
Like,
But since you came back to work though, it's like you had all these new ideas and stuff.
Yes.
Lots of
Ooh, but you
creative
know
ideas.
why?
It's like
Because I spend
creativity.
less
That's I
time.
guess what it was. It's not really about ambition. It's like creativity.
oh
and, like,
yeah,
excitement.
yeah. Because I spend less time thinking about it, way less time. So then when I do, it's just whatever comes to my brain. It's like fresh.
Yeah.
Because I think being a mom for me takes a lot of physical energy, but not mental energy. It's just like, all right, time to feed, and then it's like time to change a diaper. I'm not like 12 times 90,000, like all these mental problems. It's just like cleaning and doing things, but it makes my brain more fresh. And I'm not saying. And when I was pregnant, it was like, what's it gonna be like? What am I gonna do? It was a lot of mental energy, and now it's like, oh,
That's
there it is.
And now
That is that.
having these little children around brings like a new energy around us.
Yeah.
And it's so fun.
It is
It's
really
so
fun
fun.
having all the
It's
babies.
so fun.
I
It
love
brings a
it.
new energy and like refreshes the whole sisterhood, TBH.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
They're
So-
like these fun little buffers too. Or it's
Oh
like,
my
how
gosh,
can you
it's-
imagine? Look at this child. She
Literally.
He's so
How
fun.
could you?
He just really lightens the mood.
He does.
How can you be mad when he's in the room?
You
true.
No,
cannot.
I've been
So
mad
cute.
when he's in the room.
Okay,
Oh,
but
yeah,
if
he's
he's
like, we're trying
but
to
if he
finish.
looks
I
at
literally am
you-
like, Barrett, just please be quiet. I'm trying to work.
I have seen it. I've seen it. She's
Okay.
like, okay, guys, focus. Let's
Yeah,
do
there's
this.
like, oh, Barrett. I'm like, okay, guys, we've seen it before. Can we keep going?
We've seen it before.
Well, I don't relate to that,
I
but good
don't.
for you.
Okay,
Thanks.
well, that was okay. We got to get to Sister Spotlight, but wow, I think that
A
was
roller
great.
coaster.
That was a great first episode. I
That
love
was
that.
a
Even though
lot
it's not over
going
yet.
on.
Let's get to the last thing, which is Sister Spotlight, to conclude our sisterhood chats. Sister Spotlight, where we have Get Real with Christina, if that's going to be called. We put the spotlight on a different sister each week. When Kath is back, if she's back in this season, I don't know what hers is going to be because we haven't talked to her, but it used to be,
Sappy thoughts with Kath.
or what's her other one?
Sassy thoughts with Kat.
Sassy Thoughts with
When
Kath.
she roasted the water bottles, never forget.
And then there was Exposing Lisa's Weird Past, but this season it's Lisa's Corner, which
Because
it used to be.
sometimes I might want to expose my weird past, so that could still be here. But other times, I just want to talk about something random.
You just want to have a hoot and
Actually, you know,
holler.
today's kind of exposing my weird. Oh, it is exposing my weird past. But I just want it to be open ended because I can't be boxed in.
Yeah, love
and
it.
that's a
Gotta be your
throwback.
own person.
No, I
It's a
just
throwback
get
to an
I
old
get burnt
episode.
out if I have to
Season.
recreate the same thing. So it's like, let me
Yeah.
just be free to do whatever I want that day.
And Amy's Current Crisis and Lauren's Take. So this week, the spotlight is on. We already know.
Oh yeah, I just said it.
Lisa's
I like the
Corner.
spotlight thing. It's fun.
Yeah, we'll
Oh,
do it.
sorry.
That's why I
Ding,
still
it's on
did
me.
it.
So,
All right, Lisa's Corner. Let's hear it. What do we
everyone,
have
press
today?
the mute button on your mouth. I'm just kidding. You can comment if you want. All right, so
Sassy.
to quote our youngest brother Joey, what he used to say on every birthday, "Oh, this takes me back to 2 weeks ago, but actually it takes me back to summer. Oh yeah, he'd be like
When he's saying like
saying a
favorite
memory you like to
memory.
someone. This takes me back to 2 weeks ago when you took me to get lemonade. All right,
He's so cute.
actually this takes me back to summer of 2003. I was 9.
Oh, no.
Oh, girl.
I was 9 turning 10, if you're wondering my age. So I was in the children's production of Aladdin. I was Jasmine. I was Jasmine. Did you hear me? I got the lead role.
Okay.
Okay.
great.
Let me tell the
You
story.
said me.
Thank you. So,
She said.
this also happened to me this summer that I discovered tweezers. So my eyebrows were like this far apart because I was 9 and didn't know, but I just had control issues. They must be perfect. So you can maybe if you find a photo, you'll see what I'm talking about. So I was Aladdin. I was the star of Jasmine. I was the leading role in our local production of Aladdin. And my counterpart was this boy that I happened to have the world's biggest crush on.
Wow.
But
World's
I
biggest.
was 9, right? No. I was like delusionally,
World's biggest
deliriously obsessed with this person.
Okay.
Oh, I hate this because if anyone who knows me watches this,
Which
they
I feel
know
like is
who
so
it
weird because he is so similar to Alex.
I know.
It's
It's
so
weird.
weird.
Look, my type when I was a child really was way off. But not there's anything wrong with this. Whatever. Okay. So
Just off for you as a person.
yeah, it's not
in
my real
general.
whatever. Okay, not the point.
That's
So,
just such a weird point.
if you've seen the show, Hey Arnold, there's a girl named Helga who's obsessed with Arnold, but she can't let
thinking
him
of anyone
know.
watching this now.
She can't let him know. So she bullies him. But she has a shrine of him in her closet made out of every piece of gum he's ever chewed. shaving his head.
That's disgusting.
So that is kind of how I felt. I could not let him know that I was obsessed with him. And you know what's weird is it kind of, I almost like, my evil behavior kind of also made me feel like I hated him. Like I loved him so much that I hated him.
my
But I
God.
didn't hate him. I loved
Is this
him.
scary?
But he couldn't know. He couldn't know. So
Oh my gosh.
there would be a scene where we had to hold hands. I was 9. I was terrified.
Like, this is illegal.
So it would just be like I would run in because I think like people had captured me and I was finally free and I could be with Aladdin and we would just grab hands like this, not even like holding hands, like grab hands, Aladdin.
Oh, like that.
And I would grab his hands and go. And I would dig my nails in. I would go, oh, Aladdin, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, and he was so nice. He just like wouldn't say anything. He would just
He
be like,
never said anything?
He would just say his lines and I would be like digging into
He was
his
really
skin.
nice, if I recall. At
He
that
was
point.
really nice. No, he never was rude to me, never did anything weird, like, you know, whatever. And we got to do like a promo photo shoot, like for the local posters. And we would like sit on a towel, like we're on a magic carpet. And I was like, oh, Aladdin. Like I was dying, but I was still like the whole time, like, I hate you. But I loved him. So I would dig my nails in every time. I thought that I kicked him in the head, but it was actually it was Jafar because I actually did hate him. We'd be like, "Is he alive?" And I'd be like, "Let me check." It was really bad.
He was 9, okay.
So after the show one day, after I'd done this like I don't know 4 or 5 times, his mother, who was also like one of my good friend's mom, because I was friends with his sister.
Yeah, and I was saying we should send this to her.
Oh, please
His
don't.
sister.
No. She came up to me after the show and was like, hey, so blank tells me, you've been, I don't remember how she phrased it, but I was just like, I just remember being like, I feel nothing, but I think I'm horrified because I was so like emotionally
said what?
repressed. She was like, so blank tells me, my son, that you've been, like, you know, squeezing his hands really hard or something, like, during the show, but I think it's hurting him. Like, I think, if you could just not do that. I remember, she said it in, like, the nicest, most
was a nice
gentle
lady,
way.
She probably thought you didn't realize it. Like, oh, you're just going too tight.
No,
You're just
no.
nervous.
Like, I think he was probably like, Mom, she's putting her nails in my hands. But I just remember being like, oh, okay, sorry. And then I think I walked away and I was like, you stupid baby, you told your mom. And I was like, this is so scary. Why was I so scary as a kid?
You would think that I would have been like this, but I was not. That is
Oh
so
my
wild.
gosh.
Never would have
No.
expected this from Lisa.
Because you were close with Michael, so you knew how to interact with boys. I was clueless. I was almost like a stalker. And like,
head.
Oh gosh.
Nightmare on Lisa Street.
So, I mean, that's pretty much the story. And I remember like some weird conversation. I think you were talking to him and his like sidekick, something about
His
leg hair,
sidekick.
and it's like, oh, I have blonde leg hair. I was like, he has blonde leg hair. And then I was like, wait, what? Like I thought it was adorable or something. I don't know.
Honestly, I feel like maybe Hey Arnold
And-
was influencing you negatively.
Who? What?
Hey Arnold might have been.
Yeah, that's what it
influencing you
sounded
I don't know.
negatively.
No, I don't think I even watched that show that much yet. Anyway, and then the last thing is I think I remember the cast party. It's just such a evil blur in my mind. But the cast party was over. I just remember like crying and crying. Like when we were driving home, I was like, when am I gonna see him again? Ah, and like just being so emotionally attached and sad that the show was over and I wouldn't be his like counterpart anymore. But he was probably so happy. So bless you. Hope you're doing. Hope your hands have healed. And that's my story. I guess today was exposing Lisa's weird past.
Oh,
So
Love
thank
it.
you.
my gosh.
That was wild.
Thank you all.
That was a wild ride.
Christina's in shock.
I've never I don't think have I told that story before?
Oh, I know it.
Yeah. I don't think I've really dived in that deeply. I'm a little scared of
Wow.
myself.
It happens. It
Wow.
happens to the best
It's okay.
of us.
I used to bite you guys when I was a child. so-
She did.
Yeah.
You did. You bit my collarbone. She left
remember
purple teeth
that.
marks.
Yeah, and I used to bully Danny. I was so mean.
I
as a
bullied
kid,
Amy. I'm so sorry.
Like I was
Okay.
like a rude bully.
Dark.
It happens.
So it's okay. People change.
Yeah, they do change.
I don't know. I think it's just
do
repressed.
I was a
anger.
dictator.
I don't know what to do with
All right,
it.
Amy,
We
say
were
it. Flaw,
rageful.
come on.
Amy didn't have
No,
one.
Amy didn't have a flaw.
I always treated people well.
Listen,
It's true.
Amy had physical ailments, and that was the only thing that was ever wrong with her life, and
Yeah,
it wasn't even
let's
her
be
fault.
real.
Thank you.
Amy didn't
Although
have a
I
flaw.
was bossy, but that's not
No,
really that
no,
bad.
Not
no.
to us.
Amy is an angel
To
among
everyone
us.
else. Wait, thank you.
We all had
Okay.
flaws, though, besides Amy.
Thank
Yes.
you. Wow.
Amy, we don't
Well,
deserve
she was
her.
never mean to any of us.
She
Yeah.
wasn't.
So nice.
She was nice
She's
to
gonna
all of us.
cry.
Literally probably will. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Illy.
So,
All right, that is our first episode. If I can't wait to even say this at the
Yeah.
beginning, if you want all 20 episodes of this season, you're gonna have to join our Patreon, where we post every other episode only there. So episodes 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, etc. Those are all on Patreon, but all the odd episodes 1, 3, 5, 7, etc. Those are all on YouTube, which you guys are. I don't know if you're watching on Patreon or YouTube right now, but I'm speaking to the YouTube people. If you want to see the rest of the episodes, go join our Patreon. Patreon.com/Cimorelli. It's always linked in the description. And there's not just the podcast there. There's also some other series and videos that are awesome on our Patreon. Our Patreon is really great. So go check it out. Like, join it for a month. See if you like it. If you love the podcast, you definitely need to join, because there are a bunch of other seasons of the Cimorelli podcast. Actually, not a bunch. Is it like 2? That's still a bunch on our Patreon. 3?
Oh, yeah.
3 seasons. That's
Wow.
like 30. I think it's 10 of each one. I
Yeah.
think. I don't know if we still
That's
did
a
that then.
lot of extra episodes.
I-
bro.
there's
somewhere near 30
There's
extra
somewhere around
episodes.
30 more, and they're really good.
They are really good.
We give it our all for every single one.
Great
Yeah.
dynamics. They really work, even though it's some
really work.
even the ones that are a couple years old, they still really work.
Oh,
now.
Our
the
podcast has always been fun and
No,
fresh.
the first season is my pride and joy.
I love the first
Please
season.
go watch the
I
first
did not
season.
know that.
Oof.
Oh, the
It's
first
some of
season's
my favorite
podcast
memories.
is incredible.
Really?
The frying pan of truth.
Oh yeah.
Remember all our shticks and segments?
That was
I
so
really fought
good.
hard
I
for
think
all the
I was
shticks
too
and
stressed
segments.
on that.
Oh,
was just
so
I was
good.
too.
don't wanna
I
say
was
the
like,
wrong thing.
does this even work? Is anyone gonna watch this?
Look,
didn't
I was
know.
doing literal stand up the whole time. So just go watch it.
Wow.
Yeah, go watch it.
Okay.
I was also bald, so
Really check it out. It's
Wow.
worth
Check
a
it
watch.
out.
About that. Okay, well, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. We'll see the next episode Patreon, and then everyone else will see you in the next episode on YouTube. Bye.
You've been listening to the Cimorelli podcast. Follow Cimorelli on Spotify and subscribe on YouTube. You can also find Cimorelli on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.